All right. Hello. I am Andy. Ow, that hurt something. I am Benjamin's mom, and I am going to teach you all things feeding today. So as you can see, there's lots of things here. Don't be intimidated. It's okay. So we'll use JJ in a little bit, but this is his button where he gets his feeds into. Well, JJ doesn't get them, Benjamin does, but JJ is going to be our model. So I'm going to set him aside while I show you all the other things, and he'll be back in a little bit. Okay, so first, you just go over really quick, and I'm going to give you just some details. This is Benjamin's food. It's called Real Food Blends. There's a few different varieties, but it all comes in these kind of containers, in these packages. This is what you'll be putting into his bag. These are the bags that they go into. So I guess traditionally, the food that goes in the feeding bags is really thin. It's kind of like milk consistency. So they aren't designed to push thicker foods through it. So we modify our bags when we get them so that they can push this food through the pump without it getting clogged. So if you look right here, you can see up here on this side, it's got a water drop on it. I'm gonna take that off really quick. I'm just gonna gently pull it off. It's kind of hard, but I don't wanna break it. Okay, I'm gonna gently take it off. I don't have one that's not modified, or else I would show you, but all of mine have already been. So I take this off, and right here, you can I don't know if you can see, but there were two plastic pieces, or it's like one plastic piece, but two lines that attach at the top to this piece right here. They come out here, and it makes it smaller space to get through. So I use these scissors, and I just cut both of those things off. It's just like this. So that's how we modify it. And then you just put this back on. We do that to every single bag we get. So every time I get a new supply of bags, I just sit down and do it to every single one so that when I need one, I know that they're all ready to go and don't need to be modified. So once that is done, so now, we've got a drawer full of all of our prepared bags. We've got all of our food and all of our things. Then the night before a new day begins, I get out a new bag and 3 bags of food, and I prep everything. At the start of the day, I put 2 bags in. I put the extra bag in his backpack to have for later. 2 bags in, a teaspoon of salt, and 1 drop of vitamin D. This supplements all of his necessary, so he gets all of his necessary vitamins and supplements, vitamin needs through these things. I'll do that in a second and show you. And then these are the supplies that are in his backpack. This is not his backpack, that's what I use for doing the bum. In his backpack, this is his feeding pump. So we keep his pump in here really all of the time because it makes it easier for us. He can wear it if he's moving, or it's easy to sit next to him if we're in the car or he's at his chair eating dinner or whatever. So the pump, which I will show you how to work, goes in this front pocket, and then the food we put in here, which I'll show you in a second. So I also have a little feeding bag packing list, so that it's easy to make sure that you're not forgetting everything. I always am questioning if I've remembered everything. So I have a little list here of all the things that you need to have. So one is an extension. One is the button lock, which is on here. This makes sure that this extension doesn't come off of his button, which has happened a lot in the past. So we found these fancy little locks to put on. The bottle with water, 60 ml syringe, 500 ml feeding bag, the food pouches, the infinity pump itself, and the pump charger. I also like to put this in there. This is a line, this prevents the line from kinking. So sometimes the line in certain spots will just keep kinking and keep kinking, which makes the pump alarm over and over and over and over again. So this is a fancy little tool that just goes over the line to keep it from stopping kinking in that one specific area. So you just push it all the way through that guy. So this also stays in the bag too. I've used it a couple times and it's really fantastic. So that just goes right in the bag. I'm gonna put the instruction list in there, and the charger in here, and now I'm gonna prepare the food. So again, like I said, I put one of these in the bag, so especially on preschool days, because then this food will last the whole morning, and then when I pick them up from school, I put this right in here and start that food on our way home from preschool. So it's super helpful. Just have what you need already there. Okay, so I open up this bag. What'll happen is I have to take out the old bag from the previous day typically, right? So I'll put the old bag in here. I'll take this bag out, put the old bag in here, and this is like my garbage bag where I store all of the garbage that gets accumulated as I prep. So put the garbage in there, fill this guy up. It's super appetizing. Not really. Okay. All right, so once I do one bag, then I do the vitamins so they can kind of get all mixed in. So vitamin D, 1 drop. And the salt. I do 2 scoops of this little guy. 1 teaspoon. Okay. And then I do the second bag. This amount of food typically does his morning feed, and then right now where he is with his calories, his morning feed, and then like a little mid-morning snack at preschool. All right, now it's all filled up. One thing that's been really helpful for me is making sure that when I close this, I get all of the air out of the bag. So I just like with this, I just push it towards the back. It gets most of the air out, and that really helps to make sure all of this food gets used and that air doesn't go through this line. I learned that trick from someone else, and it's been so helpful. Okay, then I just gotta put this lid on. You have to make sure to press evenly when you put this on, otherwise it kind of like goes on crooked, which is happening right now. This lid is kind of tricky. Maybe there's a trick to it that I haven't learned or something. Okay, start there maybe. Why is it not doing it right now? Of course it's being super annoying right now. Well, that's good. It just shows you that it happens. Okay, then you can see that it's all even. Like it's not, one side isn't higher than the other, so it's closed well. Now typically I actually do this. I put the bag in here first and then fill it up, but I wanted you guys to see how it all looks in here. So I'm gonna do that. Actually, I'm gonna continue it outside of the bag, and then I'll show you how I put it in the bag in a minute. Okay, so then what happens, now the food's in here. We need to get the food through this entire line, because if we started the line now, if we started the food into Ben's stomach right now, all of this air would also go into Ben's stomach, which again, we do not want. So we have to put this in the pump. So open up the pump, and you just put it like this. So this little hook here just goes over this black circle, which is the spinning thing. Technical name, that's a technical name. And then you pull it from this clear spot right here, you just pull it over, until it lines up and it just fits in just like that. Make sure these are here lined up, and then you just close it. That's how it's just that easy. And then you'll turn the pump on with this on-off button right here. It goes through all the like startup things. And then just to get the line, first I'll just show you, just to get the food through the line, there's a button here that says prime. And so this is what it means to prime it. You'll just push and hold this button down. You'll see the food starting to go through that line right there. We are just going to wait until this happens, until it gets all the way through the line. Now, if you're prepping your food the night before, I always like to fill this water bottle up the night before too, so you have plenty of water for at least a few meals. It generally does like three, almost 4 feeds when it's full. And then, so that's ready to go in the backpack as well. Yeah, sometimes my finger gets tired. If you are feeding Benjamin right after you are priming this line, like you're getting this ready and then like you're immediately gonna hook Ben up to it, I would also hook the extension up to it, because then it can put food through this line as well and not have air in it. I'll generally do that before every feed is attached, this prime it and then put it on him. Almost there. I know, but my thumb is tired. Give a girl a break. All right, we are almost there. So, boop. And you stop it, reattach this tip, and then put it back all ready to go in the bag. I'm going to show you how to use the pump. I'm going to show you some of the issues you can have with it. Because so once you get this all set up, I want to hook this up somewhere. Let's see. Okay, so if you look right here, this on the left-hand side, it says rate, and it says 400 mLs an hour. That is how quickly the pump is running. It is running at the rate of, it would feed him 400 mLs an hour. So that it'll pump 400 mLs an hour through this line. That's the speed. And then if you press over here, it has the rate button. This button is rate and dose. So then you press, and you'll see the dose right now is 350 mLs. So he's gonna get 350 mLs over whatever amount of time at the speed of 400 mLs an hour. So it's about 45 minutes-ish. I haven't timed it exactly. So you can adjust both things. So you can adjust the rate by pressing the rate button, making sure it's on rate, and then pressing the up or down buttons and adjusting as you want. We'll always tell you what his feed schedule is, like where we're currently at rates and doses. So that'll be customized depending on his age and what his feeding's like. And then dose, same thing. You can go down or up to match what we need to do. You can also, while it's running, can you get me a bowl, please? While it's running, you can also see how much food he's been given. Or you can also see, like so far today, it shows you his volume is 350 ml. No, sorry, that's not for today. That's his last feed. His last feed, he got 350 mLs. This is showing the full amount of his last feed. And then the second button shows you his total for, this is like the last 2 days. I normally try and clear it out when I prep, but I didn't last night. So it'll show you the total, which can be really nice if it's cleared at the beginning of the day, because it can help keep track of how much he's gotten. Obviously there's the on off button and the prime button that I just told you about. Now, We don't need the feeding interval button because it's not on a schedule. You know, it's not always hooked up to him. We just hook him up to it and do it. Now there's a clear button, which clears all those lines. So I was saying that clears this total. When you go to that's the total for the day. Now it's back at the volume for the last feed. You can clear that too. So all the numbers are back to 0. As far as volume goes, the rate and dose numbers are still the same. Now, say it's all set up. It's all hooked up. We're gonna pretend it's hooked up to Benjamin, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want food inside of this little doll. So we're just gonna pretend it's hooked up to him and keep it here. Here's some pitfalls that can happen and how to fix them. All right, so we're all ready, right? We hooked it up to him, like, okay, we're good to go. We press the run pause button. It starts running through. You'll be able to see it moving, the food moving through the line. And you just go on, right? You put Ben's backpack on, and on with our day we go. He's playing. We're back to cooking whatever food we were cooking for everyone else in our family. It should have alarmed by now. Why aren't you alarming? Okay, so there you go. It's saying there's no flow out. So when it gets to here, it can't go out. And if you push the prime button, you'll see it's like stuck. It goes back and forth. So the first thing you want to do is come and press to get this noise to stop. You want to press the run pause button just to get that to stop. Then you want to be like, why is it saying there's no flow out? The first thing you want to check is that there's no kinks in the line. There are no kinks in my line. Why is that alarm going off? I forgot to unclamp this. I did it intentionally, but I do this all the time. I forgot to unclamp this, so there's nowhere for the food to go. Okay, so unclamp it. Okay, I solved the problem. Sometimes it's a kink in the line. Then you just start over again. You press the run pause button. You're going along your day. It's doing its thing. Obviously, it takes breaks. It runs in intervals, so it'll run for a certain amount of time and then pause to make sure it's going at the rate that you want it. Now it's saying there's no flow in, which means that there's a problem coming from the bag to the pump. So something's happening up here. So I kinked it right here. So it was kinked, and that's why that went off. So you just press the run pause button. That stops the alarm. Once you find the issue, then you fix the issue and press run again. And now it's going. Sometimes the issue, let's see if I can get it to alarm for this one. Yeah, that kinked it. I kinked it again. That was not what I was trying to do. Now the alarm says there's no food. So if you can see, there's no food in this line, right? So press this to stop the alarm. Then it's like, why the F is there no food? So you unpack, you unzip his backpack, and you come and look and see what's going on. A lot of times what will happen if it's alarming with no food and there is still food in here is Benjamin was maybe like leaning forward or put in a way that this bag was upside down and food couldn't get into this line. Or sometimes there's a lot of air in the bag, and so the food is like over in 1 second and the air is getting through rather than the food. So you just have to figure out what's happening, fix it. I know and then it'll keep saying, well, there's still no food, right? Because look, there's no food here. So what you'll do is just prime it for a second. It's gonna keep alarming until there's food, so I always just prime it until there's food back, until you can't see, like, okay, now it should be good. And now we're back to running again. Now again, we can have issues where sometimes there's a kink in this line here. I'm trying to think about what other issues there are. Sometimes, honestly, this will just alarm for no reason, just because it's having a bad day. And that's annoying, you just have to come back and press the button. Sometimes it's just a bag issue in general, so if that keeps happening over a day, I'll just put a new bag. I'll just get rid of this bag and start over again, and sometimes for some reason that fixes the problem. What else? I'm gonna pause it. I think that's most of the troubleshooting issues. If there's kinks, this isn't done, no food, no flow in, no flow out. You want to make sure that you're charging it on a regular basis, because otherwise it just beeps and beeps and beeps and beeps until it dies. So if you want to make sure that you keep it charged. And then let me show you how I put it in the backpack. Actually, I'm going to show you how to use this guy first. Okay. This is our little pull, right? It just comes like this on the bottom. Come on. Comes out like this. It clicks, right? And then there's a little thing here for when then you can extend this part of the pull by twisting. You extend this part of the pull by twisting and pulling up. So you extend however tall or short you need it, and then just twist clockwise to tighten it, and you can put this down here to secure it even more. And then you can just hang this on the hook. You can also just hang the backpack there if you want. And sometimes it's nice if like he's just sitting at the table, or if you have to do a feed at night for some reason, I'll use this a lot just to keep it out of the way. So this is always available to use if you need it. That's how you use her. Okay, now to put this in the bag. Yay, we're gonna wash you later. It needs to be washed anyways. Okay. So, say we're done. I know, I'm gonna turn you off. I don't need you to run anymore right now. Okay, so say we're done with the feed, right? All the food is done. It'll say dose done on here. So then you just turn it off, and then what you'll do is you will you'll clamp the line, and then you will twist the line from the bag off, put the cap back on it, and you'll put it back in the bag. Okay, and then this, which is still attached to Benjamin, still has food in it, and you need to get one, you need to get the food out of this line. Two, you also need to, Benjamin needs water, right? He doesn't drink enough water to keep him hydrated, so we help him out by this. So you fill it up all the way. I'm not gonna fill it up all the way. We don't need that much water for this demonstration, but you just fill this up. You just pull all the way out and then twist, pull. This stays in his backpack at all times, so you always have what you need. Then you just twist this right on top, unclamp the line, and push until you've pushed all the liquid, the water in the syringe, into his stomach. Don't go super fast. The slower you just take your time. You don't have to go it doesn't have to take 3 minutes to empty, but you don't want it to take 2 seconds. Okay. Now, what'll happen is you're done, but there's still water in this line. Which if you clamp the line and take it off, the water will stay there. It's not going to come out because the clamp prevents it from coming out of either side. But I like to get all the water out. So what I will do is I'll clamp the line, untwist it just a tiny bit, just to put a little bit of air in here. Then I retwist it on, unclamp the line, and I push. Yeah, this is what you have to watch really well. So, and then I push until I'm pushing air just through this extension. And I push just until I can't see the water anymore. So I can see it's all air. And just barely, because I don't want to get a ton of air into his stomach, right? And then clamp it, and take it out. That way the water in here isn't getting weird and stale, and you're not putting that in his stomach later or whatever. And then, so then you clamp it, and then you'll take this off of Benjamin, and you're done and ready for the next feed. This stays in the bag at all times too. These things stay with the bag at all times. So the last thing I need to show you is how to set up the bag and how to attach this with the button lock to Benjamin. Clean up the mess. Okay. Now, here's the backpack. So the backpack here has a place for you to wrap this around the neck of his feeding bag. It also has this front pocket with a hole so you can put the pump in here and the line. So the line goes through here, you put it into the actual pump that sits up here, right? And then I keep this extension up here. I keep his actual extension in here, this little line protector thing, and the list all in here with the pump. In the back, this is the charger, extra food, and then there's 2 holes in this bag. There's one in the back and one on the side. So you can put the long line through whichever one you want. It really doesn't matter, so you get to choose. And there's also this little bag. This little bag I use because when you take this off and he's being fed, there's nowhere to put this. So we just store that in there so it doesn't get lost, because it very easily gets lost. So it just hangs out in there during the feed and then goes back on there when his feed is done. So take this all apart. Put this all away, just like it's a regular day. Okay, so it's a regular day. All of this stuff is in here. I've gotten this already. It's prepped and ready to go. Then I will take this. I'm not even worrying about where this goes just yet. And get it set up in here. Just unvelcro this. Put it through these lines in the top. Right here. One through each side. And then you put either one really, but you put the one through and pull it through as tight as you can get it. Wrap it around the neck, and then just Velcro this one right on top of it. Go under this so it can get as close to the neck as possible. And then that's set up in there. So then what you do is I just put this whole line in here and then grab this part, and again this goes through the hole to the front. You just put it right through here to the front so we can attach it to the pump. And then you just put it in here, attach this. Again, this goes around the circle. You pull, it clicks in just like that. Boom. You are ready to go for the next day of feeds. Your backpack is all ready to go. We do have 2 backpacks, so in case this one gets food all over it or something, we do have a backup. So now he's all ready to go. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how to attach this extension to his button and how to attach this button lock to put it on the extension and to put it, lock it onto here. So like I said, before we had this, this doesn't like lock into place. You twist it and it'll stop moving, but it still can untwist and come out, which has happened to us so many times. And then just when Ben's walking around like trailing food behind him, which as you can imagine is no fun at all. So we found this incredible maker on Etsy who prints these. Why can I think of the name of the kind of printer that is? So he's also a dad who has a kid with a feeding tube and ran into the same issue and created an answer for it, which is amazing. I'll actually link him in the video, in the notes below this video. Okay, so to put this, the first thing you're gonna do is you wanna just get the lock on the extension. So what you're gonna do is you're going to turn it upside down, and you're going to, I like to just put the tip of it up. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how I do it. Oh, right, okay. So I push it like you've got the tip pointing away from you. So it can kind of go in the top here and just push right through. So you just push this right through, and then you turn it around. I am doing this wrong. I am doing this wrong. Goodness, Andrea. Okay, so to put this on, you're gonna put it right here. You're gonna put it like this, so it kind of has the same shape, right? And you're just gonna put this right through here, and then it's on. That's how it needs to be on when it's on. Then we just keep this on here. We also have extras because we've lost this once, and that's how it's on. Then there's a little line on this extension that you line up with the line on this button. So you're gonna hold both sides of the button firmly so that you can have the control to push this in. Then to get this lock on, normally if you're just doing meds or anything else and you're not using the lock, you turn it like 120 degrees. This one you're just gonna turn 90. So you line up the button port with the line of the extension. With that lined up, you're gonna pull this button lock over here, and you're going to wanna make sure you like wiggle the bottom of this onto either side of the button. That's been the biggest trick for me, is if you can wiggle that under the sides, and it gets easier as you use it, as it's like more used and not brand new. You wiggle that under the sides, and then I push from the back and hold the button right here. So I push, and then it clicks down over the top of it. It takes some getting used to and playing with it to really learn. And then it also made it so that you still have access to the button port if you need access to the button port for some reason. So now it's locked into place, and it's not gonna come off during his speed at all. So then to take it off is kind of the same thing. I just, I hold pressure on the opposite side, and I hold this little tab to have control over the button so it's not going anywhere. And then I just pull up on this little lip right here, pull up and pull back. Then you untwist it, line up the black lines, and pull out. Hi, sweetheart. Then all you gotta do is just put this little cover back on, and he's good to go.
Can I?
1 second, please. So that is all the things I think that you need to know